Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Norman. I'll be making a video for you guys over Call of Duty Black Ops 2 today, and as it kind of suggests, this is not going to be my gameplay. Unfortunately, this is one of my good friends. He's been around on my channel for a long period of time. He shows support, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it, but at the same expense, he did an absolutely amazing job with this gameplay. I was really impressed. I'm usually not impressed by rushing gameplays because, I don't know, it's just not really my cup of tea. And I'm not trying to suggest that I totally love camping gameplays. I definitely don't. I think there's a good medium there. I think being passive is probably a little bit more where I fall into because, you know, I do move. I do a lot of actions. I jump on the OBJ, stuff like that. But at the same expense, I do set up because I've played Battlefield for a long period of time and I know how successful you can be by being a passive player. You can be a little bit more successful and you can be a little bit more consistent if you're willing to take the initiative and kind of understand the fundamentals of how the game works. Now, obviously, to be a rusher, you need to understand a lot more than being a passive player does, because you're constantly on the move, you're constantly changing the spawn locations, you're doing all that stuff. And I think he did a very good job in this gameplay just for that sheer fact of understanding and having the ability to, on the move, understand what was occurring around him. And I don't know, I mean, granted, you guys will see, you know, he will jump on the objective for a little bit of time and then he'll just kind of run off. And there's a good reason for that. If you guys really understand the gameplay, you really look at it and for what it is, you know, he's kind of setting up for the next, you know, kill feed he'll get, or he's setting up to go kill somebody that should probably be spawning in this location, or trying to break down the map to the point where he'll understand what's going to be happening. It all makes sense. It's a lot of calculation, it's a lot of understanding, it's a lot of information that you have to take in, and unfortunately, I don't always take in a lot enough information to the point where I make the game easier for myself. Seems like I make it harder some days, but I don't know, guys. I was really impressed, so I thought you guys would enjoy as well, but what I wanted to really get into is the first official video on my channel, ironically, was a video by him. And Corey's been around for a long period of time. I have done a lot with him. I mean, I've known him for the majority of my life in real life. And that's pretty impressive. I mean, I guess you could say by itself, I've probably known him for about 10 years now. I mean, granted, we haven't always been, you know, super friends in real life. I mean, that's just kind of how it is. I'm a very private person. I don't want to say I could really care less about the outside world or stuff like that, but I do like to be in a parameter that I'm comfortable with. Like, if you were to introduce me to a large group of people, there's a good chance I would say nothing. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and have a fucking panic attack, you know, but I don't know, I'm just a lot more quiet. I like to take in different opinions. I like to look at everybody for what they are and kind of understand what they're coming from and, you know, all that information. That's just kind of how I function in real life. A lot of the things that I like to do outside of, you know, YouTube, obviously I love making videos. I think it's a lot of fun. And I think it at least allows me to open myself up to different departments, different things of kind of, you know, the actual education part. You know, I plan to go to college for something of the equivalency of game development, or, you know, if YouTube somehow magically plays a role, I'd like to do something in, you know, video development or something like that. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And that's just kind of where I stand. But, I mean, as for a college location, I have no clue. I imagine I'll probably go to a 2-year because I don't feel like being in debt until I'm like 35 years old. I think that's a pretty safe assumption. That's kind of how college works. I mean, unless you're getting a full ride, scholarships, your parents are rich, or anything of that assortment, or you're getting just financial aid, nothing wrong with that. But unfortunately, I'm not getting any of those above, and I really didn't go for scholarships because I didn't really care. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I made a video about this a long time ago, and I really pressed this on you, and I really wish there was a lot more of you guys so I could really give a really wide variety and really appeal to a lot more people. But I do appreciate you guys that have been here. I mean, I'm not going to turn around and be like, yep, I'm super cool. Yep, I'm so awesome because I make videos and post them on the internet like millions of people. But, you know, at the same expense, I look at my content and go, yeah, I'm talking a little bit more realistic. I'm giving you guys more of an opinion. I'm talking in a way that only selected people are going to understand. I'm not sitting here like a Harvard education or graduate or anything like that. Definitely not. But what I'm trying to get at is that junior year, towards the end of it, my 4th term, I fell into, I want to say a depression, but at the same expense, I don't want to put it into that category because it's not exactly what it was, but I stopped caring, and I've cared for years. Like, I am the hugest tryhard when it comes to school. To a certain degree, obviously, I'm not a AAA student. I don't have a 4.0 GPA, any of that shit. But I had a 3.7, which I was pretty impressed with, and unfortunately, towards the end there, junior year, I kind of fucked that up. I quit going to school. Like, literally, I would just stay home. I'd be like, yep, not going to class. I didn't care. I stopped caring because I didn't see a reason. I didn't see a reason to show up for just the stupidest reasons. I would miss random classes. It was like a freaking puzzle if you saw my attendance record. I'd go to class first block, I'd miss second, third, and fourth. I'd go for fourth block, I'd miss everything else. It was just sporadic, and I quit caring. And that transferred very heavily into my senior year at the beginning. First term, yeah, I'm surprised I didn't fail out of all 4 classes. I could have easily failed every single class, but I got lucky because the teachers were willing to work with me, which was phenomenal. I appreciate everything they've done from that standpoint. But, you know, what am I really trying to appeal to you guys? What am I trying to say? Well, I would say not to fuck up. I know school sucks. Believe me, we have all been there. We all hate school. You're not the only one that feels school sucks. Believe me, I have felt it, and your buddies feel it, but it is important. I think a lot of people overlook the fact of how much money you can really make if you finish high school, you go to college, you do whatever. For international guys, I think you guys call it university, maybe. I'm not positive of that. I do apologize, I'm not too fluent on the international terms, but you know, your highest education means a lot, and it's crazy to see your numbers. If you just get a high school diploma, and then you look at how much a college graduate makes, there is a substantial amount of money there. You could literally buy a very nice car with that money. You could buy a car that you would be pleased with, and that's just for the first year. So, I guess I'm just trying to say that. I'm not trying to preach school onto you guys, because that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to entertain you, but for some reason I went on to that logical thinking that I wanted to appeal to you guys, give you guys information that it's really standard, it's very obvious, but it really doesn't kick into your mindset and go, yeah, that's really important, until the point where you're looking at your grades, you're like, oh, fuck, I got a D, how am I going to fix this? And we've all been there. But what I also want to talk about, you know, for my life, I guess you could say, I mean, I really enjoy doing this kind of stuff. I think it's a lot of fun. You know, I obviously watch my fair share of YouTube videos. I mean, I'm very fluent in that. I watch anyone and everyone. That is something. Now, granted, there are people in the community that I just cannot stand at all. And unfortunately, I'm not going to tell you guys the names because I don't want you guys to be like, oh, you're hating on him. But, you know, there are people that are big, large in the community that I could really care less if they, you know, they magically disappeared just because I think their videos are a little bit less high quality, which that's just how it is. We all look at each other and go, yeah, you know, he fucked up on one video, so I presume all his content sucks. Like, that's just how we are set. If you're a content creator, you know what that's like. You look at selected people, you're like, oh man, I could have done that commentary so much better. I could have talked about this particular thing in a higher regard. And that's just kind of how humanity works. But, I don't know, guys. This commentary was a little bit more sporadic. I've actually been having difficulties getting this commentary produced, and this is actually like my 20th time doing it. So, you know, for all the people out there that think commentaries just come natural, they're super easy. Unfortunately, if it was that easy, I'd be able to make make more of them a day. But as it stands right now, currently that's not a part of reality, and I imagine it's not going to become something of a reality for quite some time. So, anyway guys, the playthroughs will be on the way, and I have more content showing up here in the upcoming, you know, days. But I really appreciate what you guys have done, and I think it'll be a lot of fun when I actually have the opportunity to play on Xbox Live with you guys. I will try to get on this weekend. As for anything else, PlayStation users, I will keep you guys up to date. I've actually been jumping on PlayStation a little bit. Not as much as I had promised. But anyway, guys, this is my time on YouTube. I'll see you guys in the next installment. This is NMO, signing off. Peace.